Hello and welcome back to ROADTRIpVIA, the once-a-day road trip trivia quiz. Today's episode is day number 234 of the 365-day trivia road trip. Today, like every day, we have a 21-question random knowledge trivia quiz. 20 questions up front, a question 21 tiebreaker at the end of the episode if you need to stick around for that. And unlike every day, today's trivia quiz has 0 mythology questions. Good luck on today's quiz. Question number 1. In Basile's Italian version of this fairy tale, the title Princess Talia gives birth to twins who wake her up by suckling on her fingers. In French fabulist Charles Perrault's version of what fairy tale, the title princess is awoken from a 100-year curse by the kiss of a prince. Should be a pretty easy one to get started with. The answer is Sleeping Beauty. Question number 2. This often effervescent process creates a molecule with an ethyl group out of sugars like dextrose and maltose. Foods like sauerkraut and sourdough bread are created using this process, which is driven by microorganisms like yeast. What is this anaerobic process that forms the alcohol in beer and wine? The specific term we're looking for is fermentation. Question number 3. Because of the slash and burn agriculture needed to grow palm trees on rainforest soil, palm oil is usually not considered this type of crop. What is this term, which is applied to foods like coffee and cocoa, if their production does not degrade the environment or threaten the quality of the farmers' lives? Those type of crops are called sustainable. Question number 4. After this empire was defeated in one war, the Treaty of Sevres created borders that were rejected by Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. Mehmed VI was the last sultan of what empire that dissolved after World War I, leading to the creation of Turkey? The answer is the Ottoman Empire. Question number 5. What is the name for the fundamental principle of American government according to which each branch of the government has some measure of influence over the others, preventing any from having too much power? What is that principle called? The answer is checks and balances. Question number 6. Born in Leominster, Massachusetts in 1774, his dream was to produce so many apples that no one would ever go hungry. Johnny Appleseed was an eccentric who wandered around the Ohio River area in the early 1800s. What was his actual name? He was not born with the last name Appleseed. What was it instead? The answer is John Chapman. Question number 7. In this city, hundreds of stone lions line a bridge named for Marco Polo, who praised it in his travels. In a photo taken in this home of the Summer Palace on Kunming Lake, a man stands in front of a line of tanks in what city's Tiananmen Square? The answer is Beijing. Although back in Marco Polo's time, it was still named after the duck, so if you said Peking, that is also correct. Question number 8. When the Dutch controlled much of Indonesia, they forced the peasant farmers to grow certain crops. Among these was what flowering plant from the pea family from which a blue dye can be made? The answer is indigo. Question number 9. Ravi Shankar was known for playing what kind of instrument, often used in Hindustani classical music, which features several pluckable strings and numerous sympathetic strings that provide resonant sound without being played directly. Often used in Hindustani classical music, the instrument we're looking for is the sitar. Question 10. It is an expectation that most people might have about every person of a particular group. In social psychology, what is the term that is used for the generalized belief about a particular category of people? The term we're looking for is a stereotype. Question 11. This quantity for an acid can be determined via titration, and pH is equal to the negative logarithm of this quantity for hydrogen ions in a given solution. What is the name for this quantity, expressed in units of molarity or parts per million, that indicates how strong a chemical is? You measure how strong a chemical is by its concentration. Question number 12. Although scientists have since ruled this out, in the early 20th century, what did Percival Lowell believe he observed on Mars that led him to think the planet might be inhabited by intelligent beings? What did he think that he saw? He thought he saw canals. Water-moving canals. He did not. Question number 13. In the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, the mariner's ship is cursed after he shoots one of what kind of birds with a crossbow, after which his crewmates force him to wear that bird around his neck. The mariner shot an albatross. Question number 14. After ivory production proved relatively weak, King Leopold II's profiteering from the Belgian Congo primarily relied on what crop that is harvested from the latex of trees and vines, and it can be vulcanized to stabilize it for commercial use? The answer is rubber. Question number 15. Clementine is saved from these creatures by Lee Everett in a Telltale game. In another game, a Bungie version of this creature abducts Crazy Dave and is opposed by pea shooters. A special mode in many Call of Duty games pits the player against what type of spooky creatures? The creature we're looking for is a zombie. Question 16. What is the one specific term that works for all three of these definitions? The distance a signal can travel, the difference between the highest and the lowest set of values, and the geographic region in which a plant or animal may be found. The word we're looking for that works for all three is range. Range is the answer. Question number 17. Carrots actually can help you see better in the dark because they are rich in the pigment called carotene. Carotene forms what vitamin, also known as retinol, that is necessary for vision in dim light? What is that vitamin? The answer is vitamin A. Question number 18. In the 19th century, Hongihika launched attacks at Lake Rotorua and the Bay of Plenty, starting the Musket Wars. The Treaty of Waitangi was signed by the indigenous Maori people of what oceanic country? The answer is New Zealand. Question 19. The Crimean Peninsula juts into this large Central Asian sea, which the Strait of Kerch connects to the Sea of Azov to its north. To the east of what sea are the Caucasus Mountain Range, and beyond that, the Caspian Sea? What is this large Central Asian sea? The answer is the Black Sea. And question 20. In the Harry Potter novels, what character, with a first name reminiscent of a legendary founder of Rome and a last name that comes from the Latin word for wolf, actually does turn into a werewolf? The answer is Remus Lupin. Alright, that is it for today. Thank you for watching today's episode of ROADTRIpVIA. Check back tomorrow for day number 234. And if you missed our recent live stream, you may have missed the opportunity to win one of these awesome road trip kits filled with ROADTRIpVIA swag, a perfect little container to hold your road trip snacks, keep it in your car. It's awesome. I love these things. I'll send one to you 100% free if you'll send me 2 trivia quizzes. Check out all the details on our Facebook page. You just write some trivia, email it to me. People get the trivia, you get the road trip kit. It's a good deal. Check out our Facebook page for more details. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Question 21, the tiebreaker, is: after witnessing the British bombardment of Fort McHenry on the night of September 13th and 14th, 1814, Francis Scott Key wrote the poem originally entitled The Defense of Fort McHenry, which became the U.S. national anthem in what year? What year was it made official? The defense of Fort McHenry, now called the Star-Spangled Banner, was in 1931. Whichever player got closest to that wins the point. If it was a tiebreaker, that player wins the whole game. Also, check out our new logo. I've posted this all over Facebook too. You might see the new logo on the YouTube channel page. Don't skip over it. This is still the same ROADTRIpVIA. We just got some really fresh new looks that goes along with the googie 1950s, 60s space age feel that we're going for on the channel. I love this, and our swag is covered in this logo. So don't forget, if you want one of those road trip kits, check out our Facebook page, figure out the details and the guidelines for writing the trivia, and email it to me, and I'm going to send one your way. Thank you. See you tomorrow.